What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I'm about to do your weekly tarot readings for all the zodiac signs. Keep in mind these readings are general and they may not resonate with everybody. Do remember to take into consideration your moon and rising sign as well, because you may resonate with those. Possibly even more than the star sign, which is your most commonly known sign. So let's go ahead and just hop right into it. Let's get a card for Aries. By the way, we're going to just do general energy. We're going to pull one card for general energy and one card for love energy. So let's get into that general energy first for Aries. All right, we had a card pop out, and it is the Queen of Swords. So this week you may be pretty to the point with the things you are trying to discuss with other people. You know what you want to get accomplished. You know how you're going to get this accomplished, and you may have to delegate things to other people as well. So you're very much in charge of what is going on. And for good reason. I think you have a good perspective on the situation that maybe not a lot of other people have. Perhaps you have more knowledge on the situation than other people. So you're really in your element. And you're kind of functioning on, I don't know, I want to say you're kind of functioning on autopilot. This is something that you're really good at, and you're just doing your thing, basically. You may be showing other people how to do certain things to help you out, speed up the process, so that you could have more output. You can generate more with other people helping you than you can trying to do it all by yourself. So keep that in mind. You don't have to, take everything on by yourself all the time. It is okay to, let people help you. Just tell them what to do. Tell them what to do. Like, you got to be very clear. You can't just assume that they can read your mind or assume that they know. You communicate this. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. What kind of energy will Aries experience in their love life this week? What is going on with Aries? Let's see. Aries, you have the Ace of Cups, so you may be feeling very, very emotional over the next week. Some of you guys are going to be falling deeply in love, or just feeling the strong sense of being deeply in love with somebody, at the very least infatuated. But you're definitely overwhelmed by the emotions you have for this person. It's consuming you. It's consuming you. But I think to a certain extent, it is helping ground you. That may seem a little odd, considering when you carry this energy, it's kind of a floaty energy. Like, you feel like you could float away on the love. But this is grounding you, because you are carrying this Queen of Swords energy pretty heavy. And with this, you can tend to shut off from your emotions. So, what is going on in your love life, the way your love life is affecting the way you're feeling, is keeping you in touch with your emotions. You're not becoming entirely cold. You're still able to take these things into consideration. In fact, you're probably able to take the emotional aspect of things, of how they influence what's going on, into consideration more, as opposed to being like, okay, well, it doesn't matter how emotional you feel, it doesn't matter what's going on, that doesn't matter because you still have to get things done, you still have to do things a certain way. No, you're going to be more understanding because you care about this situation. So if you're in a long-term committed relationship, you and your partner are doing really good, feeling very strongly for each other. If you are dating somebody, you are really falling for them. You're having some very, very intense and very strong feelings for them. If you are single, some of you may have a very strong desire for a connection like this, for this intimate connection that's like overflowing with love on both ends, but it's not happening right now. And this could be upsetting to you in some circumstances. For those of you who have a very strong desire to be with somebody, this can be very unbearable. You know, the wanting and not having it may be very difficult for you to deal with at this point. In which case, you know, that is the case. Again, you know, you're still going to be able to handle things from a realistic manner, but even if things are not going great in your love life, it's not going, you're still going to be considerate of what's going on in other people's lives. Like I was saying, you know, this love life energy is going to soften you up. And in some cases, though, it's so intense that it can make somebody feel really bad. Like if you're single, you don't have anybody, you can end up feeling really shitty. But I don't think you're going to let that feeling interfere with how you're handling things. I think you're still going to be considerate of everything because you're going through a rough time. So you're thinking empathetically with other people as well. Okay. Let us move on to Taurus. See what's going on with Taurus. What is up with Taurus for the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Taurus over the next week? Taurus, you have the Ace of Cups for your energy for the week. So this is, again, like this very deep and strong and intense love. This is your general energy, though, so this is not strictly in regards to relationships. You can just be feeling extremely grateful to be alive and kind of falling in love with life again after dealing with a difficult time. You know, the flowers are brighter, you know, on a nice sunny day. Even if it's hot, you're like noticing the flowers, you're noticing all these little things and just like really appreciating being alive and living in the moment. You may have a lot of new ideas at this time. This could fuel a lot of inspiration at this time, so definitely write down your ideas. That'll definitely be very, very beneficial. So you could definitely be very creative at this time. Some of you may be having children or know somebody who is having a child. So that is a very exciting experience as well. But now is really a time for beginnings. It's a time to go after the things that you do love, that are important to you, that are the most important things to you in your life. You may be having a difficult time with this. You know, in some cases you may be having a difficult time making this stuff happen, but you just feel so strongly that even if things go awry, you're still gonna use it as fuel and inspiration to continue moving forward. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What is going on in Taurus's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter in their love life over the next week? Taurus, you have the Four of Swords. Okay, so with the Four of Swords, you actually may be taking some time out to rest, maybe taking some space from your partner. It's not that you do not have any feelings for them right now. I think you're just kind of going through a lot and you're feeling very emotional, and this could be making it hard for you to see clearly how you feel about a situation, because the emotions that they trigger in you are so intense. It's like you need to sit out a moment and kind of think about what happened and kind of think about how you feel about what happened and what you want to do moving forward in regards to that. That is all across the board. That is if you are seeing somebody, dating, or even single. You know, it's time to really figure out how you feel about what has been going on, and work to get yourself back into balance if you have been off balance, if this has made you a little off your game. You know, taking the time to recognize what's going on and get your head back in the game. Let's move on to Gemini. What is up, my Geminis? Let's see what kind of energy you will encounter today. What is going on with Gemini, not just today, over the next week. What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week? Okay, the card I had jump out at me is the Death card. So there are going to be some endings that you will encounter at some point this week. This is going to happen whether you take the steps to bring this to an end. If you don't, something's going to happen in life external to you that is going to force this to happen, whether you like it or not. And unfortunately, in those cases, it could be a lot more difficult because it could disrupt your life more because you're not making the choice to make this happen. You're not prepared for it. It just kind of happens. But it's happening for a reason, and it may seem like a total mess and a total curse right now for things to not be working out the way you want them to, but it's going to be okay because this is going to make space for you moving forward to have the time and energy to put into something that is going to bring you more satisfaction than what you are currently involved in and what is coming to a conclusion. So this may be hard to deal with at first, but it's going to get better because, like, collectively, or, you know, just in the long run, what happens as a result of this ending is going to work out better for you than having to deal with the discomfort of it actually happening. So let's see what's going on in your love life, Gemini. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter in their love life? Okay, Gemini, you have the High Priestess. So I think that you're thinking a lot. I think you are kind of searching the depths of your soul, if you will, to figure out what it is that you want from a partnership. Now, this is even if you are in a committed partnership at the moment. You may be re-evaluating if this is the type of partnership you want. Do you want more? Do you want less? Just trying to make sure that you are not wasting anybody's time, yours or anybody else's. So you want to make sure that you are clear about what you want. And there may be some of you who are already in committed relationships who are realizing that you don't really know what you want from a relationship. You committed to each other based on a feeling, not a knowing of what you want and being able to provide each other with what you want. It was more about loving each other. And that's a beautiful thing, but there's really more to it. And so you're trying to take your time to figure that out. You know, if you want something that really is going to stand the test of time, there's more to it than that. And you got to figure out what you want, what is truly important to you, and how you connect with other people the best. Because I think that what can make a large difference in the people we interact with is what we are able to talk to them about, and what you feel comfortable saying and doing around them, being yourself or whatever. You need to figure out who yourself is, you know, and what it is that you want. Perhaps it's always been about taking care of other people's wants and needs. Now it's time to think about yours and making that a priority. So you may be stepping back a little bit from your partners or whomever you're seeing or talking to. It's nothing personal. You just kind of got to get your head together. You're not really sure where you're at right now. I think there's some big changes going on in your life, and it's not really something that other people can do anything about. So, you know, you're just kind of keeping to yourself for the most part. All right, let's move on to Cancer. Let's see what's going on with Cancer over the next week. What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? What is going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter? Cancer, you have the Two of Cups here. So partnerships are definitely highlighted this week. You definitely will benefit a lot from working with other people. You may be spending a lot more time with your partner, loved one, or also your your family and or closest friends, the people that are the closest to you, that you're the happiest with. You may be spending more time with them or communicating with them more. This definitely puts you in a really good heart space because you're dealing with a lot of really good people and you're having a lot of really great conversations, and it just makes you feel better about life. Perhaps, you know, you may be encountering, some of you may encounter a situation where things haven't been going as well with somebody that you are closely connected with. Perhaps there's been conflict. I think that is something that will be discussed and worked out over the next week. there will be some clarity, understanding, forgiveness, etc., etc. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Cancer. What's going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter in their love life over the next week? What's going on in Cancer's love life? Let's see. What is up with Cancer? Cancer, you have the Five of Pentacles. So some of you may be in a place where you're just feeling extremely insecure. Perhaps you have been rejected recently, or even if you were not rejected, you feel rejected. Perhaps you don't have anybody, potential love interest. You don't have anybody right now. And some of you may actually be in a woe is me state where it's like, well, I don't know if I'll ever find somebody to love, and just kind of really focusing on what you do not have in regards to a romantic partner. Those of you who are actually in committed relationships, you may feel like you are not. There's something in this relationship that is lacking to where you feel alone. You feel like you are watching this person that you're supposed to be in a relationship with participate in life, in their life, and just like leaving you outside of it. For some reason you feel like you're just on the outside looking in, and it makes you feel extremely disconnected from your partner. Which, the best thing you can do in this situation is to try to have a conversation about how you feel this way, and try to figure out what it is that you guys can do that can resolve this issue. Some of you who have been dating, I don't think you've been having the best luck. But I think it's not something you're going to let get to you, because what you lack in love is in relationships, it's made up by the love you have in your life. So, your friends and your family, like, you're still going to be able to enjoy and treasure these relationships. So if you are trying to date somebody or whatever, and it's not really working out, it's like, okay, I wish that things had worked out better. But life is still good, because I got people that love me, that I love. We enjoy spending time together. Everything's good. No real complaints. All right, so that sounds pretty good, I think. Cancer, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's see what's going on with my Leos. What is up, Leo? What will be going on with Leo? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Leos? Leo, you have the Eight of Wands here, so something that you have been trying to make progress with that has maybe stalled for a while, you're going to start seeing some movement here. There could be a lot of phone calls that you're making, a lot of quote-unquote official conversations. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of doctors or business partners, etc., etc. There's a lot of ideas being exchanged here, and you could even be planning a trip or planning to travel somewhere. This would require a lot of communication going on. So kind of getting all that in order. So, but now is a really good time to kind of implement things, take the first few steps to achieve something, a goal that you have been brainstorming or whatnot, planning on working on. Now is a really great time to jump in there and try to get that going. You'll be able to see progress almost immediately. It may not be like long-term progress, but it's enough to inspire you to keep moving forward even if things do slow down. So it's like, okay, you get a little push and that makes you feel good and optimistic. And then maybe things slow down a little bit, but that push you had was enough to make you feel like you can get that push again. So there's that optimism that's coming in there. Now let's see what's going on in your love life. What kind of energy will Leo encounter in their love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter in their love life over the next week? What is going on with my Leos? What is up, Leo? Okay, Leo, you have the King of Swords. So you may not be coming off as, affectionate and loving as perhaps your partner may desire at the moment. Not entirely sure why right now. I think maybe you're just more focused on the business aspects of life than you are on the romantic aspects of life. And so your love life is not your priority. So if you are in a committed relationship or dating somebody, it's going to become clear to the other person that they are not a priority, and this could cause problems. So just kind of keep that in mind, that your focus on tangible things could make other people feel as if you don't care about them. And that's, not necessarily how you feel about the situation. So there could be a room here for misunderstandings in regards to how you feel about each other. But I think that just through some communication, these things will be able to be cleared out. You will see what is going on. You just need a little clarification every now and then. All right, moving on to Virgo. Let's see what's going on with Virgo over the next week. What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What is going on with Virgo? Virgang. What's going on with the Virgang? Virgo, you have the Eight of Swords here. You are not going to like this energy. You're going to be very frustrated with this energy because you just want things to start working out. You want things to move forward. And you feel stuck. You're in a situation where you can't really make anything happen. You're in a waiting situation. You're stuck and your hands are tied and you cannot stand it. You cannot stand being in the state where you have no control over what's going on. And you're having a hard time being optimistic and having faith, because you don't have any control over what's going on. And so you don't know if it's going to work out for you, because it's like, at least if you have some sort of control, you can have some sort of faith that it's going to work out for you, because you have control over how things are going to work out. Now you just you got to free fall. You just got to go with the flow. You got to let go, because you can't do anything. It's true. You can't. You're in a position where you can't do anything about what's going on right now. So you might as well just kind of try to take this moment to relax and rest, because you're stuck at the moment. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, there may be some things that you can't work on right now, but perhaps you can, there are other things you have that you can work on while you're stepping away from this other thing for a while that is you have no control over. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life? What's going on in Virgo's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter in their love life over the next week? Virgo, you have the Strength card here. I think you may be feeling pretty strongly about some things, but you are trying to control. You're trying to control your emotions and how much of them you express at the moment. I think, taking into consideration this general energy, I think that there are a lot of things going on in your relationship that you feel like you have no control over. And this can be very frustrating to you, but at the same time, you may be in a situation where it's like it's not the end of the world. It's not something that's huge or majorly disruptive to your relationship. It may be disruptive to your sanity, which could affect your relationship, and that's what you are trying to prevent. Okay, so that's there. That's what you're trying to control. You're trying to prevent you losing your sanity over not having control over these other things from affecting your love life, the person you're seeing, etc., and how you're interacting with them. I think that if you're single, those of you who are not dating, I think it's something that isn't a priority to you right now. Yes, you would love to find someone to love and, be with intimately, but at the end of the day, it's not your primary objective. And so no matter how much you have the desire for these things, it's not your primary objective. You have other things you're trying to achieve. So, there may be times where you long for these things more than others. And you may be going through one of those periods where you kind of long for it more than others. And you're just trying to stifle that because you know that, like, this is kind of a little phase for you. And, you may be lonely now. But, like, maybe next week you won't feel so lonely. Maybe you will, but whatever, It'll be okay because it's not your primary thing. It's like, it's not your primary motivator in life right now is not having a relationship. Other things going on. Cheers, Juicy. Thanks for showing up and showing love. Okay. Gotta rub my head for a moment, you guys. Alright, it's starting to hurt. Take some medicine in a little bit. Alright, Libra, let's see what's going on with you. What is going on with my Libras over the next week? What kind of energy will my Libras encounter over the next week? What is going on with Libra? Libra, you have Judgment here. So you're at a point where you have to make a very, very important decision. You're going to be forced to make this, whether you want to or not. It's time to decide whether or not you are going to continue on the path you have been, or if you're just going to let it die, if you're going to let it come to an end. If you choose to continue down this path, it cannot continue the way it has been. Things have to change. The way things have been functioning up to this point needs to come to an end, and things just need to be reassessed and approached differently. We never want to go back to the way it was before. But some of you will have to completely leave these situations behind. And again, we don't want to go back to the way it was before. So it's like you definitely are not making the wrong decision here. No matter whether you stay or go, things cannot go back to the way they were before. Okay? Now is a really good time to kind of figure out what that is, what the difference that is, what that means in your life, what the difference is in your life. And because you are entering a new phase, and it's important to take those things into consideration, but you can't hold them back from moving forward. You got to learn from them so you can change things. But I think you are entering into a new phase of your life that could go well, but I think it really just depends on your attitude. So if you could just do your best to try to maintain this optimistic attitude, no matter what goes awry, I think that'll be very beneficial to your state of mind, because there may be a lot of things that go awry. Just try to maintain that optimism. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Libra. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life over the next week? What is going on in Libra's love life over the next week? Okay. Libra, we have the Hierophant here, so I feel like this is a breaking or signing of contracts. So either you will be, signing some sort of contract, be it like a marriage contract or a lease of some sort with your partner that is going to deepen your commitment or in some way, or these things will be breaking. Like, say if you have been married, maybe you're signing divorce paperwork, maybe you are breaking leases. So it could go one way or another. Just like with the Judgment card, where if you continue to move forward, you may be in the same situation, but it's got to go in a new direction. So if you are already married and committed, perhaps you've been going through a difficult time, and it's time to basically shit or get off the pot. So it's time to decide whether or not to continue in this relationship, to try to make it work in a new way, or to just let it go and move on. I think that there are some of you who are single and not dating. You do have a strong desire to have a family, maybe get married one day, all that good stuff. But I don't think it's a priority of yours either. I think that you may feel like there's a lot of things that you need to see and experience that you haven't. And although you may have a desire for these things, a strong desire for these things, you are still, like, I feel like some of you may not be fully ready to completely tie yourself down to one situation. So, you're not ready to have a deep commitment. So some of you may just be totally happy being on your own. And that's fine, especially since you're about to go through some major changes in your life in general anyways. Alright, moving on to Scorpio. What do you know, Scorpio? What is going on with Scorpio over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter? What's going on with my Scorpios? What's up with Scorpio? Scorpio, you have the Tower. So there's going to be some big changes. Either externally or internally. Something is going to break down. The way things were before are no more. If this is an internal thing, it could be triggered by an external event, but it changes the way you see things, it changes the way you think about things, and it really shakes things up. It really shakes your world up because this isn't really necessarily expected. So there's going to be this level of initial shock, and then you may be kind of really rushing to try to figure out what to do to repair this situation, because well, you know, things didn't work out as planned, and you know, sometimes that's life, because life doesn't give a fuck about your plans, you know. But it definitely has thrown a stone in them big time right now. But this was supposed to happen, you know. It'll become clear later why you've hit this hiccup. It's annoying now, but everything's gonna work out. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Scorpio. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter in their love life over the next week? What's going on with Scorpios? What kind of energy will they encounter? Scorpio, you have the Six of Pentacles. So with the Six of Pentacles here, it's very important for you to maintain some sort of balance in your relationship, or try to. You want to make sure that you and your partner are giving and taking equally. And if you are not doing this equal, that you are balancing out at times, i.e., if one of you is given 20% and the other one's given 80%, you know, perhaps one person is just not doing that well. Okay, sometimes you need to put extra in when your person's not doing well. And then the other way around, sometimes they need to put the extra in when you can't really put as much into it as possible. You know, so some of you will be able to have that balance and find that balance. But unfortunately, there are others of you who will either be taken advantage of or manipulated, or you will be doing the same to somebody else. There is somebody involved in this situation that is putting a lot more time and effort and energy into their partner than the other person. And I don't know if it's you or the person you're seeing. I don't know. It'll differ based on your circumstances. But I think some of you who are single, you know, I think that some of you may have been really taken advantage of in the past, to where people have taken more than they've given to you in the past. And I think this has really hurt you, and that right now it kind of has you in a place where you may be feeling a little bit pessimistic about love. I don't think this will last. I think that, you know, it's just something you got to work through. You know, it's going to take a little time, but you'll get through it. All right. We are moving right along, chugging. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's going on with you. What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? What is going on with Sagittarius? Sagittarius, you have the Justice card here. So it's time to make a decision. It's been very difficult for you to figure out how you feel about this situation. It's been a difficult decision to make, but you know, you've reached the time limit. The time is now. It's now or never. It's time to make this choice. You're doing your best to kind of balance out your emotions and your realism at this time. You do have a hot temper at times, and so you can be very impulsive. Your mind and body can be quick to react before you're actually fully absorbed a situation. So try to take that into consideration when you make a decision or put in a situation where you do need to make these choices. Try not to be so impulsive with them. Maybe take a step back and really consider what needs to be considered. You know, how is this going to affect you emotionally? Will it affect other people emotionally? How is it going to affect you, you know, tangibly? Will it affect other people tangibly? You know, you definitely need to make sure you know what's going on. Make sure you are making an informed decision. It's very important. All right. Let's see what is going on with my Cappy. What is going on with Capricorn? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? What is going on with Capricorn over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter? Capricorn, you have the Five of Cups. So you could be dealing with some loss. Sorry to say and to hear. That there are some things that you may have lost. Friends, family members, assets, you know, and it's pretty devastating. It's definitely causing a lot of stress and heartache in your life, and this is a situation that you're not sure whether or not you can recover from. You are trying to pick up the pieces of what has occurred or what's going on, but I think that there are some things that you have said and done that you really regret, that you don't know if you're going to be able to come back from. But you really want to be able to come back from this. So it's like you don't know if you'll be able to recover from this, but if there is any chance that you could possibly recover from this, you want to take that chance. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life this week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter in their love life over the next week? What is going on with Capricorn? Capricorn, you have the Eight of Cups. So you may be involved in a situation, whether you are in a committed relationship or dating someone, where you feel like you need to leave this situation. You need to walk away from this situation. It's not going as hoped, as planned. And things aren't looking good. If this is not like something you are looking to do long term, like bring a complete into the relationship, you may be deciding that you need to walk away from a while. You need to take a step back from this situation for now, because things may be getting overheated. Like if there have been arguments or bickering going on, it's getting really intense, and you just excuse me, feel like you need to walk away from now. So for now, so that you can kind of get your head together, because it's been a lot of chaos, and I'm not sure you've had time to really process everything that has happened. Some of you may be put in situations where you are feeling like you are being forced to make very important decisions, and these are things that you're not sure you can even commit to because of the circumstances of what's going on. Things are changing. You know, the dynamics of your relationships are changing. Those of you who are single, you may be having a hard time letting go of some heartache or pain from your past relationships. This is something that you are well aware that you do need to work on in order to have any chance at having a successful future with somebody. But right now, those feelings are still pretty strong. So right now, you know, you can't, like, you got to work through these feelings before you can get there, before you can have that space open for somebody else. All right, let's see what's going on with Aquarius. All right, what kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What's going on with Aquarius? Aquarius, you have the King of Cups here. So I think in life in general, you are trying to be more sensitive to other people's needs and emotions. You're feeling more caring, more considerate, especially compared to the energy of the past couple months. You've been very distant and cold, and not really caring how you come off. But you're caring. You're starting to care a little bit more. You're starting to care about how the way you interact with people, how it may be received, and misunderstood, and trying to clear up any misunderstandings that may occur. So yeah, you're feeling a bit more caring and considerate of other people at this point. In general, you have a deeper appreciation for certain things in life than you typically do. You're able to enjoy the moment more and to appreciate all the little things. And this is definitely a time that you definitely want to soak in, because you don't feel like this very often. You don't feel like this very often. This is pretty good energy, and you should definitely take advantage of it. Now, there may be some of you who are actually really struggling with your emotions, in which case, just be careful not to self-medicate. Some of you may be tempted to self-medicate. Let's try to stay away from that. Try to find other ways to transmute this energy, ways that are less self-destructive. And that also involves stuff you love. So like, say if you're someone who's really into music, like it'll help to listen to music. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter in their love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week in their love life? Aquarius, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Aquarius, if you are both in a committed relationship or dating, you are really trying to think before you speak. You don't want to be so quick to react. You know, if you're in a committed relationship, you're definitely committed. You want to maintain this sense of stability and security with your partner. In order to do that, you know, you have to be able to work through have these difficult discussions without, you know, jumping to conclusions, in order for things to be steady and stable. If you're just dating and not fully committed, you know, you're taking things slow. You're not trying to rush into things because you know that things of value is. I'm not saying that when you rush into things, it's not valuable. I think that from your perspective, you really have to work at building something for it to really carry weight in your heart when it comes to a relationship. Like, there's more to it than just a feeling and hooking up. You know, you want to get to know this person on an intimate level. There's more to it than that for you. But I do think that there are some of you who are not dating or seeing anybody where you're not really in a rush to do so. It's not a priority. I feel like some of us this week, you know, it's just very low priority. Relationships, dating, being with other people, it's just a very low priority this week. It looks like, you know, you got enough emotions that you're dealing with right now that are your own. You're not sure you can deal with anybody else's at this moment. Hello, Nikki. Welcome. Thank you for showing up and showing love. Alright. Last but not least, by any means, Pisces. Let's see what's going on with Pisces. What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What is going on with Pisces? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What's going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the King of Swords. So it looks like you are trying to detach from your emotions this week. Perhaps they have been getting the better of you. And you do not want that to happen. You've got things that are very important in life that you need to take care of, things that you've got to handle, and you can't let your emotional state affect that. So you are definitely trying to keep that repressed as much as possible in your day-to-day life, and really focused on all the details of everything make sure everything is in order, everything's done correctly. Being efficient. You want to be very efficient. You want to make sure that there's nothing that goes unnoticed, that there's nothing that you overlook. So you're extremely detailed oriented at this point. And you have a lot of focus and drive right now. Whatever you're working on or have been working on, you are really focused and you have a lot of drive to make this happen, to get it done. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What is going on in Pisces' love life? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter in their love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter in their love life over the next week? What's going on with Pisces? A card flip over on us, and it is the Nine of Pentacles. So I think for you, love's not really a priority either. Like, your love life is not a priority right now either. You're really focused on stacking your bucks, working to save money, working on embracing your independence. Like, even if you are in a committed relationship right now, you're working on embracing your independence, maybe reclaiming it after some time. You know, you want to have some autonomy. You don't want to always be connected to your significant other. You want to be able to stand on your own. You don't want to have to depend on them all the time. So you may be really focused on that, standing on your own. And yeah, your relationship isn't really a priority. However, it is very important to communicate with whomever you may be involved with that you're just really focused on other areas of life right now, and you won't be able to put as much energy, time, and attention into them. That way they're aware of what's going on, and they can decide what they want to do based on you knowing this. Okay, am I going to sit around and wait until you get to the point where you can give me that energy? Or am I just going to move on because there are other people that are willing to give me the energy I want and desire now? So if you could have that sort of conversation with whomever, it'd probably be beneficial. It's not an easy conversation to have, but things will probably get weirder, you know, if you don't have it, and to where when the conversation does come, it's even weirder. So the sooner you deal with it, the better. Those of you who are just straight up single, it's really important for you to be able to stand up and function on your own. You're okay being single. Dating's not a priority. You are your priority. Being able to handle your business on your own is your priority. You don't have any time for the bullshit. Period. That's just where you're at right now. You don't have any more time for the bullshit, Pisces. And more power to you. More power to you. So those are your readings for the week. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes. And I will see you guys again next week, okay?